Ladies and gentlemen, I am inside a cafe, which is why there's lots and lots of noise going on around me, and I've been joined by Grace Salt, and we're going to talk walking football. Now, I know nothing about football, let alone walking football. First of all, what the hell's walking football?
Walking football is walking and playing football. It was invented in the UK some years ago, 2014, I think. And basically, it's a way of people who are over 50 to still stay involved in sport without the high impact and the collision damage that's caused with most sports. And it's the biggest growing sport in Europe now. Absolutely massive.
So, you have to obviously get yourself a team together. Are there any restrictions on the teams, like age limits or anything like that?
Yeah, well, this year, because we've actually split it into two age groups. So we've got a plus 50 group, and then we've got a 60 and over group. And the reason that we've done that is because the 10-year difference in age group can be massive with regards to even speed of walking. So we split it, and also what we thought was there's less chance of injury. We went to a tournament in Portugal, the European Cup, and we met a guy who was 89 and still playing, and he was really good, really, really good. I know it sounds unbelievable, but he was so good.
You see, the whole thing, with football, the whole thing is running with the ball. You've got to run with the ball. So how difficult is it not to run?
I think I'm a big fat lad and I'm getting on a bit, so for me it's really easy. It's not very often I get picked up for running, but for new people to it, the automatic reaction is to run. But after a couple of sessions, they get into it and then they realise that, it's not about running, it's about playing the ball into feet. It's very skillful. A lot of ex-professionals have really started to play it. In fact, our first manager was a guy called Larry Lloyd. He was double European Cup winner for Nottingham Forest, played for Liverpool, played for England, and he played walking football. And since then, a lot of the professionals teams now are putting sides out containing ex-professionals. But you get used to it after a while. You don't run, and you let your feet do the talking, as it were. And it's all about skill and playing into feet. The thing about walking football is the main benefit is first of all, it's great for physical health, but it's also great for mental well-being as well. And that's really important, especially nowadays where, yourself, Lee, you go back 10 years, men didn't speak about it, We didn't speak about testicles before that. Then we were allowed to. All of a sudden it was check your chaps and all that kind of stuff. And now we're on to mental health now, and that's massive. And, it's brilliant because you feel part of something again and you feel wanted, and, it's great. It's a superb sport all around.
So there's obviously a great team spirit that goes on.
Yeah, the thing is, it's almost like, they talk about muscle memory. You also get competitive memory as well. So after a while, it becomes competitive. Like for us, we're Malaga Walking Football Club, and we've got 3 teams currently that are going to be competing in the league next year. We won the league this year, our team, on the Costa del Sol. So we're Costa del Sol champions, which is fantastic. It's really good. We're so pleased with that. And we're also semi-finalists in the European Cup in Portugal, which again was brilliant, and semi-final and runners up in the League Cup this year. So we've had a really good season. But you can play it to whatever you want. So you can play social walking football, which a lot of women are playing now. So just for the fun of it, play for the fun of it. You can play social men's football, social mixed, or you can do what we do. We play it a little bit more competitive, but the team spirit and everything's still there. But you know what's really weird? You still have fallouts like you did when you were kids, over nothing. And then you sit down and have a beer at the end of the night and you realise, what was that even all about? What were you falling out about? So it's strange to see a group of old blokes falling out over whether it was a free kick or whether he actually ran or whether it was a corner.
What about the officials? Are the officials allowed to run?
So again, we started, it was all very amateur. We were the first club on the Costa del Sol 2016. We were on our own. There was nobody to play. We played amongst ourselves. Now we've got a referees association with 10 referees on the Costa del Sol. Very professionally run, sponsored kits, training courses, everything's done. And the rules are pretty strict. It's 3 touch. You can't run. If you run, you get a blue card, which is 2 minutes in the sin bin. Run again, you get a yellow card, 5 minutes. Run again, you're off the pitch. Right. So it's quite, there is some trotting every now and then.
Yeah.
But it's getting better and better as we go along. That's like the holy grail of walking football, is stopping people from running, not necessarily on the ball, but running when the referee's not looking. That's the big thing.
Okay. So how many members do you have in a team? Is it a full 11 squad?
Yeah, we play 7-a-side, and up and down the coast we've got teams in Nurka, Torrox, Compita. We've got teams in Benalmadena, in Mijas Costa, Calahonda, Benahavis, all up and down the coast. A massive sport. Hundreds of members within the space of 5-6 years.
So I know as well you've got teams up in the Costa Blanca, because I was talking to some guys up there about it before I got in touch with you.
Absolutely. A good friend of mine, Gordon, he runs a team called Esquina Park Rangers. A team called Portobello yesterday won the Costa Blanca League, and hopefully we'll be playing those soon. I think there's probably more teams in the Costa Blanca now than there are on the Costa del Sol.
Wow.
And the good thing is that we're getting closer and closer with them. So, like, we're playing competitions with them and all that kind of stuff. We've also got Atletico Bilbao. We play up in Bilbao. The other day we hosted Real Betis from Sevilla, fully Spanish side. So, yeah, I mean, the sport's just growing and growing all in Spain. It's just getting massive in Almeria as well. They've got lots of clubs in Almeria. A friend of mine called David, he runs a team out there called Los Amigos. So, yeah, we're up and down the coast, and you know, the local press have got behind it. The Euro Weekly have been brilliant. You know, they've kind of helped us along with that, you know, getting it all together, and you know, they cover us all the time, which is brilliant. So yeah, it's all good.
You see, that's the thing that I'm really fascinated by. It seems to be just like real football, transcending the nationalities. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. And we made a conscious decision about a year ago because we noticed that no Spanish were playing it. It was all expats, be it Dutch or English or Danish or whatever. And we made a conscious decision to make our advertising so that we was actually attracting the Spaniards. And once you get a few, then you start getting the Argentinians, the Uruguays, the Colombians, the South Americans, and we've got 14 of our squad are Hispanicos, you know, Spanish speaking, which we're really proud about. We're the biggest English speaking club on the Costa del Sol, and also now we're attracting sponsorship from the UK. I mean, next year in the league, I can't really name them yet because it's not signed, but a massive electrical retailer from the UK going to sponsor our league by the look of it. So, you know, it's been noticed, and which is fantastic, you know.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you actually about, you know, the international side of it. Obviously, there's Europe, but any chance of it spreading out into the States and places like that?
It already is. Australia play it, America play it, they play it in Singapore, Thailand, they play it all over the world. The biggest walking football tournament ever has just been held in Scotland, in Glasgow. 500 teams.
Wow.
500 teams in Glasgow. Amazing tournament, and they're very good at it, the Scottish. They've been doing it a good while, and they got organised very quickly, and they're a very, very good nation. They're good at it. The Portuguese are amazing at it. They're very good. The South Africans won the Copa de Europa. They were invited as guests, and they won it 2 years ago. They were an excellent team from South Africa. So yeah, it's literally being played all over the world. And now it's getting. I would say possibly within the next 10 years it'll be an Olympic sport. I would have thought.
You think there will be a World Cup?
Definitely. I think from our point of view now, and a lot of the guys see this as sad, the big clubs are getting involved.
Oh.
So all your Premier League clubs and everything are getting involved, and they're putting teams out. The problem is that they're trying to make it into their sport so that everybody plays to their rules, and we're all resisting that. You know, it's not for them to actually take it over. No. But they are doing. I mean, even to the point where a certain ex-Tottenham player actually messaged us and said, you can't call it Walkingfooty because we've registered it, which is rubbish. You can't register the name Walkingfooty. And we sent him away with a flea in his ear, and he actually apologised to us. But, I truly believe within 10 years they will have professional leagues. So they will have ex-professionals playing walking football. It'll be have TV coverage, and it will be a professionalised sport. But there's still room for us. There's still room for the grassroots stuff where, you know, for mental health reasons and for health reasons, that's why we do it. We do it for that camaraderie. Don't get me wrong, I want to win. We all do. But yeah. it's going to be big, really big.
You see, that's one of the things that fascinates me and why was interested in the first place. A friend of mine has some issues, and he's getting on a bit. He's over 27, and he plays walking football and absolutely loves it. And he feels part of a team, and that to me is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, look, we've had guys within our team this year alone who suffered from depression, and speaking with the other guys, it's amazing. You know, once one actually admits it, that they've had an issue, then the rest of them start falling like dominoes, and you find stuff out that, you know, that's incredible. And the thing is, it's not a taboo subject anymore.
No.
And I think it really helps with the healing process of it. It's amazing. I think we're a little bit more sensitive than we give ourselves credit for.
We are, yes.
I think we're a little bit more helpful and a little bit, you know, as before it was like stiff upper lip, pull yourself together. Those days are long gone. They're long gone. I think there was a horrible statistic that I heard on the radio the other day saying that 2 builders in the UK or 2 tradesmen in the UK die every week from suicide through depression. Yeah. Well, that's bad. That's not a good thing. It's the 3rd biggest killer of people under 60 in the UK. You know, horrendous. And if we can do a small bit to try and turn that round, then I think for me it's job done.
Now, I got involved earlier this year in the cricket tournament out here.
Cartama.
Yeah. And that was fascinating because it was so fast.
Yeah.
And it was sort of, you know, 10 overs or 20 overs, game's done. What's the time like on walking football? Is it a normal 90 minute?
So we play 40 minutes, 20 each way. It's a little bit quicker than you think it is, and it's a lot more skillful. People are surprised because you get a lot of resistance from some. I'm not playing walking football, you know, it's walking. And then they play it and they go, do you know what? The thing is, Lee, it's actually a different sport to normal football. It's a completely different sport. And once you realise it is a different sport, then you can get on with it. A lot of people just don't want to admit that their time of playing with a 25-year-old's done. And you've seen the kids out here, they're so athletic. They're so good and so athletic. I don't care how good you are, even if you're an ex-professional, you cannot keep up with those kids. So it's time to take a back seat, play walking football, enjoy it. In 4 weeks' time, we're off to Morocco. We're playing the Moroccan national team in Morocco, in Casablanca. That's going to be brilliant. We've got lots and lots of events coming up, and you know, we have a. Can I just say we're on our Facebook page?
Yeah, of course.
Walkingfooty.com on Facebook. It's got a list of all the clubs up and down the coast. And you know what? If you want to start your own club, all you need is 7 people and a ball, and we'll help you along. You know, contact us through Walkingfooty.com on Facebook. We'll help you set a team up, no matter where you are, whether you're in Estepona or Sabanias or wherever you are. It doesn't matter. You can start a team, and we'll help you. And the thing is, it's for men and women.
Yeah.
So you know, we don't personally have many women that play for us because the women that came to us have now started their own club. They just find it's better for them, and I think probably it is because I think they can talk about stuff that they don't want to talk about to Sid or to Tony or to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's for men and women, and I say all you need is somewhere to play and a ball and 7 people, and you're off. You know, there's no great equipment costs, and then after a while you build up and you think, well, has this sports centre got a defibrillator? No, we'll buy our own, whatever. Then you buy your kits and off you go, and then all of a sudden you become a club that's as big as our club is, you know. So
you do get interest from sponsors as well, people who want to sponsor the club and sponsor the kit and things like that.
You know, we are never ever short of sponsors, which is brilliant. So we have match ball sponsors who sponsor the match balls. We have shirt sponsors, all our kits sponsored, and say a real big blue chip electrical company this year has showed an interest in sponsoring our league, which is fantastic. It was sponsored last year by Hydromaster Group, and it's going to be sponsored again this year. So yeah, people see the benefit of it, and also, you know, we've got hundreds of members. It's quite a decent pool for them to actually dip into, you know.
And of course, you've got people who come to watch anyway.
Absolutely, and you know, we're getting good crowds now. It's gone from 1 man and a dog to about 20 and a dog, you know, and I mean, for that, it's brilliant. I mean, when we go to Portugal, you're talking about crowds of 400 or 500 people watching you play walking football, and you're playing against, you know, the likes of Real Betis, Real Madrid's home team, Benfica, Sheffield United, Norwich, Liverpool. Proper side, and you feel good. My brother actually represents England at Walking Football.
No.
My brother's an England international, plays Walking Football for England. And in his 50s, I mean, it's amazing that he's been capped for England twice, and plays for the national team. He's off to Germany for a tournament in about 4 weeks' time. So, yeah, Walking Football is as small or as big as you want it to be.
Yeah.
It can be one night with your mates, just enjoying a kickabout, or it can be entering competitions and travelling all over Europe and beyond, wherever you want to do. There's actually a European league just starting. There's got the likes of Glasgow Rangers in it, Celtic, Real Betis, Atletico Bilbao, clubs from England, all over the place. Portugal, Porto. It's that, and that's the start of the professionalising of the game.
Yeah.
Because these guys are funded by the clubs. They turn up in a coach supplied by the club with the club's name emblazoned on the side. These guys.
It's real.
Yeah, it's real. Their boots are sponsored. Their kit's sponsored. All the hotels are paid. The food's paid. It's pucker.
So one other thing that I meant to ask you a bit earlier on, actually, pitch size. Is it the normal size for a normal football pitch?
It's what they call football cellar, so it's a 7-a-side pitch.
Yeah.
So it's slightly smaller than the others, and we have a 6-yard area, which is a semicircle that only the goalkeeper's allowed in. That's to protect the goalkeeper from getting injured. By that, it's like a normal football pitch, but it's slightly smaller. So it's a standard pitch that you would see at a Polideportivo, really.
Yeah.
That's across the pitch.
Okay, now if anybody does want to get in touch with you, give us the Facebook page again, because I'm thinking there's going to be people who listen to this program in the UK, wherever. So you wouldn't mind helping them either.
Absolutely. Look, I love my sport. In fact, my wife will go mad by saying this. I've got a pest control business, and this has kind of took over from that as my number one passion, really. But it's walkingfooty.com on Facebook, and on there are links for a lot of the other associations all over the world, really. So we have them in Jamaica, we have them in the UK. So anywhere it is, and if in doubt you say, well, I live in so and so, are there any clubs? I will tell you this is unbelievable. Are you familiar with Madeira, which is the little island? Very tiny little island somewhere off Portugal, I think it is. And they had one club. They're affiliated to our. We've got what they call the WFAI, which is the Walking Football Association of Iberia. They're affiliated to that, and now they've got 6 clubs on Madeira. Walking football clubs.
No.
They have their own little tournaments and everything. It seems like wherever it starts, it just explodes. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. And it's fantastic. It's a great sport. I can't praise it as a sport enough. I'm saying it can be anything that you want it to be. It doesn't have to be competitive. It can be social. And whatever it is, it's great for you.
All right. Grace Salt, thank you so much for your time. All the best with Walking Football. And, will I have to get a pair of boots if I come?
Lee, do you know what? I'll treat you to a pair of boots if you come. Thanks ever such a lot for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure. Thanks, mate. Cheers.